I thought I'd give a little workshop tour. I have a one-car garage here, but I try and make it as functional as possible. It's sort of been optimized over the last few years and intentionally thought out. In addition to this space, I have an office and desk and my CAD setup and client prototypes and everything upstairs. But I have this space mainly to do prototype assembly and fabrication for my work, but also automotive projects. I have a few classic cars and also home improvement projects. So I just thought I'd run you through my tool set and my setup, and hope that some of you might find it interesting. We'll start here with the fun stuff. I have two 3D printers right here. This is a Bambu Lab H2D FDM 3D printer. I actually just got it. It replaced my X1C, which served me well for several years, and so far it's been really great. I also have this Formlabs machine. It's an SLA 3D printer. It has also served me well for several years. We use SLA 3D printing mainly to validate designs that are going for injection molding, to validate them and test out fit and finish and everything before a client invests in tooling. SLA parts obviously come out looking really fantastic. You can't even tell they're 3D printed. So it's great to be able to iterate quickly in-house with both of these tool sets. Just below that, I have a label printer here, and I 3D printed this little mount for it. It's mounted under the table. I send a lot of client prototypes out, so it's really convenient to have this label printer. I have the label reel behind it. It's a thermal label printer, works off Bluetooth, and I can send labels from my phone or computer, and it's just hidden away but there for when I need it. I also have this California Air Tools air compressor. I love it. It's a small air compressor, but it's quiet. Works really well for my needs, and probably the most commonly used thing in here. I got this work table and workbench actually from Sam's Club. It's this Ultra HD line from Swahwille, and I really think they're underrated. They work really well for my needs, especially with the stationary setup. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to get a Lista or a Sonic box or something, but after thinking about my setup and my space and the size of stuff here, these were a great choice. I think they look great, and they're certainly robust enough for my needs. So let's dive into the workbench. I'll take you through my tools. Starting on this side, we have pliers, wiring tools, all these hand tools. The stuff that I use a lot and plan to keep for life is all Knipex. It's my favorite, kind of the best I could find there. And then I have some other stuff that I see as more disposable or less commonly used tools. I didn't invest that heavily into that stuff, but it's good to have, and I can not worry about it if I break something. But the tools I care about, I wash after every use and certainly take care of them. You can probably tell I'm into organization. Here we have Wera screwdrivers and also Wera hex drivers. They are also my favorite. They feel really great in the hand, and I think they're about the best quality you can get. I have some less expensive tools for, again, some less commonly used stuff, picks, O-ring pullers, and this handy little micro set for smaller bit driving. But these guys are really great, and these 10 or 11 screwdrivers fit just about all of my needs. Can't recommend them enough. Under them, we have my socket sets. I actually have gear wrench, I think 90 tooth or 120 tooth sockets. 90 tooth sockets is what I decided because they're a little lower profile. I think gear wrench certainly punches above their weight. The extensions are from gear wrench as well, but I have all sizes. And then I have Koken Z-Series deep and regular sockets. And they're just, I think about my favorites. They get into tight places. They have really tight tolerances on the hardware and work really well. I also have a cheaper impact set. I'm mostly doing hand tool stuff here, so I don't use the impact drivers that much, but it's nice to have these that I don't care about to pound on when I need them. Also have hex drivers for when there's when it makes sense to use those. So that's my socket drawer. Here's my wrench drawer. Also some mallets, hammers, stuff like that. It's pretty bare, but this is really all I need. These are Swahwille wrenches. They're my favorite, open end and box end, and they're lightweight, again, tight tolerances. I'll say that since I invested in nice tools, I've had, I don't think, any bloody knuckles or rounded bits, and it's really something I should have done a lot sooner. There's a big difference versus just box store stuff. So really happy that I finally made that investment. We'll just move down this section. This is mostly automotive stuff. I have some Dremel bits, some drill bits. Again, I see that stuff as disposable, but just handy stuff to have. Feeler gauges, a set of torque wrenches, cam cards for an Alfa Romeo, and stripped bit pullers. But this is just an accessory drawer. Below that, we have my power tools and some PPE. I think Milwaukee's my favorite for drills and drivers. I also have a Dremel, which I use all the time, a powered screwdriver, which is convenient around the house, and a heat gun. But I'm able to get pretty much everything I need done just with this stuff right here. Below that, I have just like a quick grabbed drawer. 3D printer filaments, cleaning, car cleaning supplies, lubricants, and just stuff pertaining to projects that I currently have going. I mean, I'm collecting wiring. I'm about to do a wire harness for my Alpha race car. So this is just a convenient drawer to have for stuff I use all the time. Under the socket sets, I have more automotive tools as well as electrical stuff, and some less used tools. So rivet gun, clamps, staple gun, multimeter, soldering stuff, a scale for mailing. It's just a drawer that has a variety of things that I use fairly often. On the other side, I have a bit of a catch-all drawer just for commonly used tools. I have work lights, magnets, measuring tools, marking tools, knives, deburring tools, punch tools, all sorts of tapes, cleaning stuff, trim stuff, pin removal stuff for electrical connectors, and it's just sort of a catch-all drawer. That's probably the drawer I go for most commonly. Below that, this is my 3D printer supply drawer. It's fairly bare right now because I just switched from the X1C to the H2D, so I'm going to build this out with stuff that I need. But this is sort of a quick grab 3D printer. I usually have build platforms. If I need like unclogging tools, measuring tools, anything like that pertaining to 3D printing, that lives here. Below that, I have, I guess, the world's smallest hardware store. I have all sorts of metric hardware, springs, O-rings, electrical connectors, zip ties, just all sorts of common stuff might say, heat set inserts for 3D printed parts. Stuff that'll save me a trip to the hardware store. This is actually comes in handy all the time, but I also end up going to the hardware store pretty regularly. But this is, the most used hardware or hardware I've left over from other projects. Below that, we have automotive tools. So I'm not a big detailer, but detailing supplies. Here I have adhesives, all my glues, epoxies, CA glues, everything like that. Some sanding materials, some car parts, and my 4 jack stands, and automotive exclusive stuff. So a coolant kit, timing gun, paint, that's for my cars. So just stuff that I need to store, but is a bit less used. Well, the jack stand gets used more than I'd like with 2 old Italian cars, but that's about it. That's all the tools I have in here, and like I said, I'm able to get a lot of things done. I do everything from automotive mechanical stuff to 3D printed and machined prototypes. Obviously not doing machining work in this garage, but doing assembly. Electrical stuff, like I said, home improvement stuff. The 3D printers are almost always running, so It's been a really great setup for me, and like I said, I've done the best I could to sort of maximize my space. This is a one-car garage. It's been 2 years of organization and picking the things that work really well for me, and hopefully some of you find this helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. Well, you watched the whole video, thank you. There are 4 things that I 3D printed that are really helpful to my workflow here, and I thought I'd just take you through them for a quick little bonus here at the end. This holds a phone, and I use it for a quick alignment on a streetcar. I can do caster, camber, and tow just with a level app in the iPhone. Obviously not the same precision as a whole string alignment on scale, something I would do if I'm doing a race car alignment, but for just quick and dirty work at home, this saves a lot of time and a lot of headaches. So if anyone wants this file, let me know, I'll send it to you. I also mentioned my label printer here. I designed this mount because I use this printer all the time. Holds it out of the way, it's held together magnetically, so it's easy to swap out the spool in the back, and it just slots in under this table. And it keeps it out of the way, but at arm's reach. Speaking of arm's reach, I also 3D printed this little hook that keeps my air gun right where I need it. I intentionally put it here because no matter where I'm working in the 3D printers or at the workbench here, I'm always grabbing the air, so that's useful to have right there. Lastly, I made these little trash bag supports that keep my grocery bags open, and it's a small thing, but it's something I came up with because usually this door is closed, but even if it's not, the trash bag fits perfectly there. And no matter what project I have going here, whether I have, I'm removing 3D printed supports or wiring or whatever it may be, I always end up with junk on here, and simply brush it off. It falls right into the trash bin conveniently and holds it open so it doesn't make a mess, which, as you can tell, I don't like messes, so that works really well for me. So anyway, thanks again for watching.